Welcome to Advances in Perspective. Today we're going to be talking about the War of Jenkins' Ear, a little-known conflict that took place in the 18th century between Britain and Spain. While it may not be as well known as other wars, the War of Jenkins' Ear had a significant impact on the balance of power in Europe and the world. In this video, we'll be diving deep into the causes, events, and consequences of the war. So grab a notebook and get ready to learn something new about this fascinating historical conflict. The origins of the war. The War of Jenkins' Ear began in 1739 as a trade dispute between Britain and Spain. Britain, which was a rising naval power, was eager to expand its trade with the Spanish colonies in America. However, Spain, which was in decline, sought to protect its monopoly on trade with its colonies. Tensions between the two countries reached a boiling point in 1731, when Captain Robert Jenkins, a British merchant sailor, claimed that his ear had been cut off by Spanish Coast Guard. This incident was used by the British government as a pretext to declare war on Spain. The picture on my left shows Robert Jenkins handing a dismissive Prime Minister Robert Walpole his severed ear. As his companions lift off his wig to show the scar, one of Walpole's associates displays total indifference, preferring to converse with a lady. The War in America. The War of Jenkins' Ear was not just limited to Europe but was fought on multiple fronts around the world, including North America, Central America, and the Caribbean. The British attempted to invade Spanish Florida and capture the city of St. Augustine, but their attempts were unsuccessful. The Spanish, on the other hand, launched several raids against British colonies in Georgia and South Carolina. However, the war in America was mostly a stalemate, with both sides unable to gain a decisive advantage. The War in the Caribbean. The war in the Caribbean was more significant than the one in America. The British Navy blockaded Spanish ports in the Caribbean, which had a significant impact on the transatlantic slave trade. As a result of the blockade, the number of enslaved Africans brought to the New World decreased, which had a long-term effect on the demographics of the colonies. The British also launched several successful attacks on Spanish shipping, which severely damaged the Spanish economy. The consequences of the war. The War of Jenkins' Ear ended in 1748 with the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle, which resulted in a stalemate between the two countries. Although no major territorial changes occurred, the war had a significant impact on the balance of power in Europe and the world. It also marked the beginning of a series of conflicts between Britain and Spain, including the 7 Years' War, which would have far-reaching consequences for both nations and the world at large. Moreover, the war had a significant impact on the transatlantic slave trade, as the British Navy blockaded Spanish ports in the Caribbean, which resulted in the decrease of enslaved Africans brought to the New World. This had a long-term effect on the demographics of the colonies and the economy of the region. The War of Jenkins' Ear was also a precursor to the 7 Years' War, which was one of the largest wars of the 18th century and had a far-reaching impact on the world. The outcome of the War of Jenkins' Ear set the stage for the 7 Years' War, which would have far-reaching consequences for both nations and the world at large. And there you have it, a deep dive into the War of Jenkins' Ear. From its origins to its global impact, this little-known conflict played a crucial role in shaping the continent and the world as we know it today. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Advances in Perspective and learned something new about this fascinating historical conflict. From the incident involving Jenkins' Ear, to the global reach of the war, the impact on transatlantic slave trade and the significance of being a precursor to the 7 Years' War, the War of Jenkins' Ear has had a far-reaching impact on history. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this that explore the hidden corners of history. Thank you for watching.